What's up, B2? Capital G here. Got a couple of neat duels for you guys to check out. Our first duel is going to see Cubics facing off against Gravekeepers, and I actually feel like this is just a straight up hard counter. Cubics are getting a lot of support, and they're a deck that can be very explosive, but I just don't see any way that they can deal with Necro Valley. I mean, Cubics does a whole lot of banishing from the graveyard. In fact, I mean, basically half this guy's opening hand is hard countered by the Necro Valley. Like, Cubic Karma activates from the graveyard to get that Rhoda effect. You can like banish it from your grave. Unification of the Cubic Lords can banish itself to summon a Cubic monster from your grave. And this guy also runs Recurring Nightmare, which is another card that is just going to be negated. You know, it can add dark monsters from your graveyard to your hand. He just has a whole bunch of cards that the second Necro Valley hits the field, they're basically dead. So I think on paper, this is just kind of a free win, but we'll see exactly how it's going to play out. So I think that Gravekeeper's up first. He's going to probably take that Solemn Warning. That's what I would take anyways. He summons his Gravekeeper's Commandant because he already has Necro Valley. So it's like, you know, why even get another copy? I'm guessing he didn't activate Moonmirror Shield because he's probably like, well, if I got Solemn Warning, then I should be fine. I don't necessarily have to, like, you know, commit to it immediately. I think that he misplayed there. He probably, like, he used it on the summon of Summoner Monk, right? He used the Solemn Warning on the summon. He should have waited for Summoner Monk to use the effect and then use Solemn Warning, because then at least he would have gotten a spell, but it's whatever. He's going to go ahead, he's going to get a little bit of battle damage in because his opponent has an open board. Problem is, his opponent has another Summoner Monk, so, you know, he won't have a way of stopping this one. He would have gotten an additional card, but whatever, it's only one card difference. He's going to go for Bagusa. I think that he's basically like, look, I'm not going to be able to win anytime soon because of this Necro Valley. I better go ahead and slow the game down. If you guys are wondering, by the way, why this GK is not being moved to like defense mode, it's because it's unaffected by all other card effects. So basically, it's just going to sit there in attack mode. He keeps on summoning, he keeps on trying to activate the effects. The GK guy, I don't know if he doesn't know what 41 does. I mean, unless you're going to link summon, buddy, 41 is just going to put your monsters in defense mode and say that they, you know, they're not going to be able to use their effects. Anyways, 41 ultimately blows itself up. He is going to go for that Cubic Lord. He uses Cubic Karma, but that prompts his opponent to go ahead and use that Heavy Storm Duster. Now, the thing is, he still has not gotten rid of the Necro Valley. He's going to go ahead and activate the Cubic Omen, one of the new cards from the Legendary Collection, at least trying to turn off a monster. He's going to use Cubic Wave, and that is going to double the attack of the Crimson Nova, and this is a problem. Because if Crimson Nova gets so big, if Crimson Nova gets like really big and you have a monster in attack mode, then basically a lot of times what people will do is they'll take Crimson Nova, they'll ram it into whatever you have in attack mode, it'll do massive battle damage, and then you have to keep in mind you can still take 3,000 burn damage during the main phase too. Now this is going to be a pretty slick play, right? He goes for Instant Fusion, Thousand Eyes Restrict is going to suck up one of his opponent's monsters, and then he goes for the Relinquish Anima. Konami, if you guys ever see this video, can we please get this card in the TCG, because I feel like this card is really good, and it's just like another great utility card. It's essentially kind of like an alternative for like Link Karibo. You make it with the same exact thing, level 1 monsters, but this guy has removal built into it, so I definitely like that. He's going to get rid of a monster. He's going to go ahead and attack. He gets the BLS effect to attack again, attacks his opponent's monster, leaves him with 1,800 life points. Now he's going to take 3,000, putting himself to 100, but it don't matter because he still survives. His opponent, on the other hand, is not going to survive. And yeah, that was that's basically the only way for a deck like Cubics to beat Gravekeepers. You basically have to win the duel in one turn. Thankfully, his opponent did use Solemn Warning earlier in the duel, so he didn't have to do a full 8,000 damage, but he was able to do a good amount of damage right there. Anyways, let's go to our second duel. It's going to be Herald of Perfection versus True Dracos, if I'm not mistaken. Dracos are going first. That's a really awkward hand to work with 2 diagrams. I mean, I guess whatever. I would probably keep my trap cards. At least he's getting Heritage. Problem with Heritage is he draws 2 copies of Majesty's Maiden. This tells me, like, when you open this bad with Dracos, this just is the Yu-Gi-Oh! Gods telling you you're not going to win this duel. It'd have been one thing if he got, like, I don't know, a card of demise. Like, all right, we're in there now, you know, or even a Pot of Desires or something that is, like, going to get you better cards. But whatever, he's going to tribute for his 2 Dracos. At this point, as a Draco player, you just basically hope you can survive your opponent's turn and that you can refresh your hand with the Draco effects. So Ignis Heat gets him the Disciples, and then Majesty's Maiden probably get him Dynamite Knuckle because he definitely needs that to get those traps going. His opponent's going to just go ahead and go for Herald of the Arclight, or excuse me, Herald of Perfection. Now, looks like the Call by the Graves won't be doing any good. He is going to search, I think he searched Venus using Benson, or maybe I'm mistaken. No, I think he may have already had Venus. I was thinking for some reason that he actually searched the Venus, but he's going to go for all the copies of Shine Ball using Link Spider to summon a Shine Ball from his hand. Now, this is an interesting play here, right? So what he does is he goes for Summon Sorceress, and then he makes sure that the Mystic Shine Ball is linked up, and I was like, what's he going? Where exactly is this going? He's going to summon Christia from his deck, and then, you know, when Christia leaves the field, it goes to the top of the deck. That's all part of the plan. He goes for Nightmare, Nightmare Phoenix, then goes for Nightmare Unicorn. He's going to bring out the Corruptor Iblis, and what he's going to do, he's going to go for another copy of Mermaid, but then he link summons into a Nightmare Cerberus. Basically, he wants to make sure that it's co-linked because he needs to draw a card. That's easily, like, the most important thing here. The Christia is going to go to the top of his deck, and then he's going to obviously draw the Christia, and he's going to be able to summon it. Now, keep in mind, since he did use the Shine Balls, and since he did use the copy of Venus, and all those are in the graveyard, he's going to have exactly 4. He'll have 3 Shine Balls, which will be somewhere in his graveyard. There's 1, there's the other 2, and then obviously he'll have the Venus. So when he does this play, he'll always have exactly 4 fairies in the graveyard. Thus, he can basically summon Christia from his deck, put it on top of his deck, and then draw it, and then immediately special summon it. And it's pretty good because you get to add the Venus back. Adding the Venus back just gives you another negation for your Herald of the Arc, or I keep saying Arclight. Arclight is the freaking synchro for Herald of Perfection, and I mean, it's pretty solid, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, obviously in this matchup it couldn't be worse, right? Like, you have Archlord Christia, and it's like the worst matchup for you to have in him, but against most decks, Christia would be like a Morphage Goliath on crack. His opponent just did not have the juice. He didn't have the outs here. True Draco should be able to possibly deal with this, maybe if he had like True King's Return, tributing for Herald of, or tributing like one of those trap cards to try to pop Herald of Perfection. That would have been kind of good, but he just had too many monsters, not enough spells, got Card of Demise. It was just way too late when his opponent already had Herald of Perfection on the field, and it was locked and loaded with a couple of negations in his hand. Anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed those short duels. If you did, give the video a thumbs up. Thank you guys for watching. As always, subscribe if you have not already, and turn on that notification bell for daily videos.